Cuyahoga County Human Resources Appointments and Equity Committee is called to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Turner,
Present.
Mr. Gallagher,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Ms. Conwell,
Present.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Is there any public comment?
No, Madam Chair, no one has signed in for public comment.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the October 17th meeting?
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2023-0305, confirming the county executive's appointment of various individuals to serve on the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County for the appointment of Michelle Curry and Molly Wimbiscus.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Dr. Molly Wimbiscus will not be joining us this morning, but I am excited to introduce Michelle Curry to you. So, good morning, Madam Chair. Zoe Toscas on behalf of the County Executive and pursuant to Section 340.02 of the Ohio Revised Code, I'm here to recommend the appointment of Michelle Curry to the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County for the term July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2027. She will be replacing Max Rodas, and she's here to present. Thank you.
Curry. Good morning. Just state your name for the record.
Michelle Curry. Good morning, Councilwoman Meredith Turner and the members of the Human Resources, Appointments, and Equity Committee. Thank you for having me here today. I obtained my master's degree in public administration because I wanted to make a difference in the lives of others through service. I have proudly worked in the nonprofit world my entire career in various industries, such as the Housing Authority, Head Start, and as Executive Director of the Settlement House, and my current position as the VP of Human Resources at a federally qualified health center. In all of my roles, I walked alongside those who live in poverty and have barriers to navigate. Many of these individuals have struggled with addiction, alcoholism, mental health, substance abuse, and many other issues. They were clients, children, youth, employees, family members, and friends. Alcoholism, drug addiction, and mental health issues do not discriminate. They can affect anyone. What inspires me to want to serve is the mission of the Adams Board: to enhance the quality of life for our community through a commitment to excellence in mental health and addiction prevention, treatment, and recovery services, coordinated through a person-centered network of community supports. I am passionate about people, their uniqueness, encouraging them to persevere, and empowering them to be their best selves. The depth of the services offered by the Adams Board supports those in treatment at various levels. I want to be on the Adams Board to learn, offer my knowledge, and be a part of the planning, funding, and monitoring of public mental health and addiction treatment and recovery services that offer support and hope to the residents of Cuyahoga County. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll take the first questions. Good morning, and thank you again for stepping up to service. Do you have any specific goals that you would like to achieve on this board?
I really, as far as goals, I would really have to learn the ins and outs of, all that the Adams Board does. Of course, I've been on the website and I read, and through my walks and journey, I've dealt with, children with mental health issues, supported employees through addiction services and things of that sort. So really a goal would just to be an active board member and learn as much as I can to be a valuable support to the Adams Board
Okay.
and those that, the residents of Cuyahoga County, of course.
Is there anything that you think they do well?
The supports that they offer, the programs that are offered. I mean, the diversion program, I read about that in depth. I know a few people who have gone through the program, actually. So I think that's
the diversion center?
yes.
And can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Well,
or any improvements that they might, what did they say to you?
they kept them out of trouble, of course. So, I mean, they went. Nothing bad about it. I mean, they didn't go into, depth, and I just know that they attended the diversion center there.
Okay. Any questions from my colleagues? Councilwoman Conwell.
Through the chair to Ms. Curry, do you feel that the Adams Board is accessible to community individuals, those that are suffering from maybe mental health and drug addiction? Are they, do they know about what the Adams Board does?
The presence can be they can be more visible.
So how do hopefully you'll bring that, if you're so lucky to be chosen and confirmed, to the Adams Board. I know I'm involved in the social service world, so I've always known about the Adams Board. But I was just wondering about the layman, that family that maybe never had to deal with something, and now they're presented with that. And how do they reach out? How do they know who to reach out to? Sometimes they just, many of them that come to us luck up
Right.
on what we have, but then there's many families, I believe, that are suffering in silence. And how do we really get them to know about, if not, if they become too much of a struggle for the family, they could possibly end up in our homeless shelters. So,
Yes. But we have to
I'd
use-
hope that you'd advocate
Def-
for them to market from your perspective of just coming in to say, hey, maybe everybody doesn't know about you. And I'm sure we're willing here at the county to fortify and help that in any way that we can.
Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you for stepping up to serve.
Thank you.
Madam
Councilman
Chair.
Sweeney? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry I stepped out. I just took a call from my daughter, so I apologize. She said, if you're lucky, lucky, lucky to be approved. And I'm going to say, we are lucky, lucky, lucky that you are wanting to do this. So I'm thankful that you're stepping up. My question, it's the boards, right? Board versus executive director is my line of thought. And a strong independent board with a very competent executive director work well together, but sometimes in other worlds, the executive director guides the board. What would your thoughts be on this particular board before you get there? And I'm looking forward to seeing you in a year, and you can tell me how it is.
Well, if you say that the executive director is doing well, then they know how to cultivate the talents of the board, and they keep the board informed. The board has to stay in their place and do the advocacy that Councilwoman Conwell was speaking about, and making sure the families are getting connected. We know that not everything when you do this work is kumbaya, but we have to be willing to sit down and have those difficult conversations should the time arise, and always be respectful, because again, we're here to serve the residents of Cuyahoga County and help them get the services that they need. So we have an onus to work through any differences that we have, and always support the executive director and/or redirect them
Yeah, that's-
if needed.
Kumbaya. My love. I haven't got one of those ever. That's exactly what I was trying to get at. Just reading your bio, you're a strong, independent female. I want you to, what a thought you have, I don't want you to keep it inside. I want it to come out, have it discussed, and then executed through the direction of the board to the executive director, instead of the executive director saying, hi, this is what I want. But he's a pro, but if something comes out, I want to push back, and I have no doubt you'll be the leader in that. So that's just my comment, so thank you, and I'll be fully supportive. And thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Councilman Miller?
To Ms. Curry, thank you very much for stepping up and being willing to serve. And I just want to put a comment out there that that despite our best efforts, we still have a crisis situation when it comes to opiate overdoses. And I believe that we we need a truly grassroots prevention effort that uses the churches, the block clubs, the community development corporations, and really gets into the neighborhoods with prevention messages. But I think that the Adams Board would need to assist, consult, and assist with that effort. So I just would ask you to be willing to participate in that kind of effort, because it's really needed. Thank you.
Okay. I noticed that you're a member of the Neighborhood Leadership Class 16.
Yes. The 16th class.
16th class, Class 25 here.
Hey, wonderful.
And I understand you're a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I work green for you. I'm your Delta sister here.
Thank you.
It's for you. You have an amazing resume, and you bring a wealth of knowledge to this position. My final question centers around dollars. My colleagues and I are currently going through the budget process here. It's my first time going through a full budget process, and I learned a lot yesterday about going over budget, I'll tell you that much. Can you tell us a little bit about your background as it relates to budgets and procuring dollars?
Ooh, background as far as budget, I dealt with budgets again throughout my entire career. Not directly, well, I shouldn't say that. When I was the executive director of Merrick House, I did work with our business administrator and the board to put together a budget annually and to raise money. So we had to do fundraising. We wrote grants. So again, I was the face of Merrick House, out here doing that advocacy, meeting with funders to sell our programs, to get funding, and all of that rolled into putting together the budget, the operating expenses. You got to pay the bills to keep the lights on, and all of that, and then presenting that budget to the board for approval. As you said, being when you add everything into the budget, sometimes it doesn't all even out, so you have to go in and make some cuts. And hopefully, we didn't have to cut any programs, but again, that's an unfortunate thing to have happen. And strive real hard not to, because, you know, citizens, residents, and families are affected when we don't have the programs that they need.
Exactly. Okay, well, I think that's all I have. Again, I want to thank you for offering yourself in service. To echo my colleagues, you will be an asset to this board, and we thank you for all that you're going to do for us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, and thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to serving.
Can I ask
Councilwoman Conwell?
Zoe something?
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Through the chair to Ms. Toskis, for the Dr. Molly, did she send in a statement?
She did not send in a statement. We'll be rescheduling her to attend at a future HR committee
Okay,
meeting.
thank you.
Yep.
Because that is an option. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Well, at least I always had it like that. That's an option if you can't make it in due to your work schedule.
Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair, we'll first have to take a vote to amend the item.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to amend the legislation that's before us.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
And the motion just removes Molly McGinnis. I mean, Molly Wambiscus.
Hibiscus?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to move this to the full council. Second reading suspension, is that what you want?
Councilwoman, that was requested, if
Okay.
Is there a
possible.
Second?
It's been moved and that we move this forward under second reading, under suspension. All in
As
favor?
amended.
As amended.
Aye.
Amended? Aye.
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 Resolution 2023-0309, making an award on requisition 12167 to Med Mutual Life Insurance Company in the amount not to exceed $7,690,403 for group life, voluntary life, and accidental death insurance for county employees for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2027.
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Sarah Nemestel, and I am the Director of the Department of Human Resources. This resolution seeks an award to Med Mutual Life Insurance Company to provide life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance benefits to county employees, including both our executive and non-executive employees. Med Mutual Life is the county's current insurance carrier for these benefits, and we are requesting a new 4-year agreement based on the results of a competitive request for proposal process. The county solicited proposals via an RFP issued on June 5th, 2023, and closed on July 6th, 2023. The package was sent to 39 vendors directly, and the county received 4 submissions for services. A team of 4 HR employees, including myself and my colleagues who are with me today, reviewed and scored the proposals. After we conducted our initial review and scoring, the county's benefits consultant, Oswald Companies, provided its analysis and notes on the submission, and Oswald then solicited best and final offers from the 4 respondents, which included requests for new pricing and to clarify some of the questions we had in the proposals. And following the best and final offer, Oswald presented the updated proposal information and analysis, and based on this, we finalized our scoring, and Med Mutual Life was the highest scoring vendor. As part of the best and final, Med Mutual Life agreed to a true open enrollment, allowing county employees to enroll in up to $250,000 of voluntary life coverage without requiring evidence of insurability or answering any questions based on their health. Med Mutual Life also reduced its voluntary life rates by 10% for county employees. The cost for our basic life coverage remained unchanged. It's about 1 cent per $1,000 of coverage. This allowed us to continue the rate for the new basic life coverage, but we increased it to $30,000 of basic life per county employees when it had traditionally been $10,000. Med Mutual's coverage is also a guaranteed issuance. Med Mutual was not the lowest price proposal, but it was the highest scoring vendor. The proposal best met the county's vision for employee life insurance benefits. We chose Med Mutual again because they had a 4-year rate guarantee, a no rate change on the basic life coverage, 10% savings to employees for voluntary life, and the one-time modified true open enrollment. It was a very, strong financial package, no disruption to employees. And the contract was also assigned a 1% SBE goal by the Department of Equity and Inclusion. 2 of the submissions were noted as diversity compliant, Med Mutual being one of them.
Answered all my questions, but let's backtrack. Have we used this vendor in the past?
Yes, they're our current life insurance carrier.
And we were satisfied with their work, I guess.
Yes.
And you talked about, this was not the lowest submission, but the highest scored.
Highest scored, yes.
Give us a little more detail on that.
So again, they provided a 4-year rate guarantee. And because they didn't increase the cost of the basic life, we were able to increase the life insurance we give to every county employee from $10,000 to $30,000 without, a major financial impact, which will help us, in being an employer of choice, recruiting. It's another benefit we can give. We saw a 10% savings for the voluntary life coverage for employees who want to get additional life insurance. And again, the one-time true open enrollment, where open enrollment's actually going on right now. If employees don't already have the supplemental life coverage, they can elect up to $250,000 with no evidence of insurability, so they don't have to go through the medical testing, the screening questionnaire. So you could have, someone who's very ill able to get that supplemental life as long as they're under age 64.
Okay, and finally, for me, the initial estimate of the contract was 6 million? Is that right? And the prevailing bid came in much higher. Can you explain the reasons for the difference?
I am going to call in my business service manager, Stephen Witt, and Kelsey Finucane from Oswald Companies, who is our benefits consultant, to shed some light on those questions.
Great. Good
Stephen
morning.
Witt with Human Resources. This is a very easy response. The estimate was based on a 3-year contract. Part of the reason why MedMutual Life scored so well is that they guaranteed their rates for 4 years, and that's why we elected to go with a 4-year contract, which is why the contract is 1 year extra.
That was smart.
On that point,
Councilman?
thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Did the other ones have the option to go to 4 years?
It was, we requested in the RFP for a rate guarantee of 3 years. None of the other vendors mentioned 4 years. I don't know if Oswald requested 4 years or any additional information.
Just say that again. I missed it. You said the request for proposal was for 3.
The request for the proposals was a rate guarantee of at least 3 years.
At least it said? It doesn't, yeah, that's an important word.
We put in there rate guarantee of 3 years.
Of 3 years. But it's, and I'm not mad, but I'm just, because Medical Mutual just decided to do something different than what the proposal said, don't you think it'd be okay to call the other 3 and said, oh, Medical Mutual did 4 because it wasn't in the,
I'm so,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I am Kelsey Finucane with Oswald Companies, the consultant that works with the county. So in the best and final process, we asked each of the carriers to clarify their rate guarantee. So we didn't specifically ask them to increase it, but given that Medical Mutual in their initial proposal had said 4 years, we went and asked the same question. Can you please clarify the number of years you're willing to guarantee your rates?
Through the chair to, is just the word willing, words are important, and the word willing, with the premise of the 3, could have they said 5? I mean, a little more clear direction on this bidding process would probably, the other 3, if we call them now, would you go 4? What would the answer be? We don't know, but should we, I might call them and not, I'm just trying to, the clear RFP process, to me, it said 3 years. It looked like the other 3 put in 3 because that's what it said. Medical Mutual, on their own, chose to put 4 in, and they just got the super score because of that. And to me, what was the difference? Is that the only thing that made them the super score? It seems like I heard that roughly.
Let me clarify. It was a factor. It was not the only factor. There were numerous factors in here. For example, the lowest price vendor limited the amount that they would guarantee for employees based on salary, whereas MedMutual Life did not.
So through the,
There's other
I'm
factors
being fussy for some reason, I have no idea. But I want it crisp. I don't want to be able to be getting a phone call saying, what about this? What about that? It should have been this. So I'm thinking it through right now. And through the chair to the presenters, the ranking scores, do you have those in front of you?
If you give me 2 minutes, I can.
Oh, take your time. We got nothing else to do in this beautiful day.
I do.
I'm just trying to be.
I'm just
The
messing
whole
with you,
premise,
Slim.
Madam Chairwoman, if it was 89, 87, 87, and 82, and it was 5 points for Medical Mutual for the 4, and it could have changed the outcome, there's just more of a discussion.
Madam,
I will also say, if I may, that I think, again, another factor is Medical Mutual was only one of 2 submissions out of the 4 that were diversity compliant from our DEI department, which I think is an important factor. And then also, the 4-year rate guarantee, again, was one factor. But again, based on the pricing, we're able to increase the life insurance to every employee from $10,000 to $30,000. which is a great thing. And the true open enrollment really resonated with me. I think, the fact that someone who is very sick, as long as they're under 64, can get up to $250,000 in voluntary life is a wonderful thing and can really make a difference for families.
And through the chair, that's the only offered through Medical Mutual?
That was the best.
Yeah, that was the most generous. So what we had done was look. Am I allowed to get into details of other carriers? I just want to be.
I'll try. It's all going to be, in my eyes, the scoring. If the outcome of the 3 and 4 years of what award number it could have been could change the outcome, that's the only thing that I'm pausing for in regards to my thought process. So Medical Mutual is wonderful. They've been mine for 35 years, and they do a great job. But this is an RFP, competitive process, a scoring thing. And Madam Director, you know that there's, through the chair, when the scores come out, other people say, wait a second, and I just want to be able to explain it.
The insurance, I will say, I'm not an insurance expert, and it's hard to read these proposals and understand exactly what's being offered, and that's why we're fortunate to have Oswald and Kelsey, our consultants, and she really helped guide us through this process, so.
No, absolutely, it's all going to fall on Kelsey.
No, this was from my perspective, I was, the recruitment and, the type of benefits we can provide is very important. And so that's basically.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to say fall on, the fall on meaning the answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Very good questions. Councilwoman Conwell?
Yes, I figured while they were checking the facts, I could ask my questions. Who does the scoring?
So in this case, it was myself, Stephen Witt, who's our business service manager, Adrian Nickerson, who is in the back. She is our senior benefits manager, and Pat Smock also participated, who is the director of employee services.
Does that group tend to change, or it's for the different insurances, or pretty much the same? I know Department of Development, they kind of switch them around.
I think Stephen and Pat could better answer those questions because I'm new. So this was the second contract I've scored so far.
Okay, and through the chair, when did the employees get the increase of benefits to 30 from 10? Was that this contract period?
Correct? Yeah.
Thank you.
I had one more question, but I don't know where Stephen is. Are you answering, Councilman? You can finish your question. Okay. And then I know you said there were 4, but what were the vendors who applied for this RFP? Okay.
The 4 vendors were Guardian Life Insurance, MedMutual Life, MetLife, and Minnesota Life.
Thank you. I'm done, Councilwoman.
To respond to Councilman Sweeney's previous question, the scores in order were MedMutual Life was the highest scoring, followed by Minnesota Life, then MetLife, then Guardian Life.
Thank you very much for that evasive answer. I'd like to know the raw number through the chair.
Sure. MedMutual Life scored 96 points overall. Minnesota Life was at 86 points overall. MetLife was 84 points overall, and Guardian Life was 80 points.
And through the chair, my line of questionings have been answered, and it's mute now. Because the difference is, what was the difference for the 3 to 4? Was it more than?
For 3 to 4, MetLife to Guardian Life, it was 4 points.
Excuse me?
Ranks 3 to 4, MetLife to Guardian Life, the lowest 2, was 84 points to 80 points.
Yeah, I'm just trying, because Medical Mutual was 90.
Medical Mutual was 96.
96, and then
Minnesota Life was 86, so 10-point
difference. Yeah. And in the box for the 4 to 3, is there a 10-point differential between the first and second?
So that would have been considered under anticipated work schedule, in which MedMutual Life scored 9 points, and Minnesota Life scored 8 points.
You do your job very well, and I
Thank you.
thank you for that. And I'm done asking questions, and I'm quite confident that this is the best proposal out there, and it's very defendable. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Conwell.
through the chair to Director Nemisto, in terms of the other vendors that went for this RFP, we do utilize some of them for other contracts, do we not? I know we used to have Guardians. I don't know if we still have it.
Guardian was our, we now have Delta Dental.
Dental.
Guardian was the dental carrier.
Okay, so I'm just, what I'm trying to get at is for some of these vendors that didn't make this particular contract, do we use them for others? I thought some of these names we use for others, other insurances.
Currently, we do not use any of the other vendors for any other services. As Sarah mentioned, we did use Guardian Life as our dental provider until its previous round of RFPs, in which, starting this year in 2023, we moved on to Delta Dental.
Okay, thank you.
Guardian was also the life insurance carrier. So Medical Mutual was in place for the most recent contract, and then Guardian was in place prior to Medical Mutual.
This is great. Where is the DEI consideration as it relates to scoring or?
So as is typical with human resources, we don't score based on DEI compliance. It is a component that affects whether or not a vendor is eligible to be awarded right in the beginning. It is a evaluation that is conducted by Department of Equity and Inclusion, and they give you a straight compliant or non-compliant. Then we conduct our scoring, and if a non-compliant vendor is found to be the highest scoring, then we go to that vendor and see what can be done to make them compliant before making an award.
Okay, so we received a compliant rating.
Yes, MedMutual
But-
Life was compliant.
We don't know what that scoring looks like because they're not here, part of this process. You know, I will definitely look at how we consider using her office moving forward. They do so much work behind the scenes. It would be nice to have them be a part of these processes so they can answer those questions for us. Okay, it's always great to see you and your amazing team.
Can I get one little tiny one more?
Sure, Councilman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you tell me?
Sage this morning,
What?
the wise sage this
I
morning.
am not wise or I could be saged, but just the ranking of the lowest, the highest to lowest in regards to pricing.
So
Not the ranking, the order.
in regards to pricing, MedMutual Life was at 23 points. Minnesota Life
No,
was
just the dollar amounts.
Oh.
Well, just who was the highest, who was the lowest?
My apologies. We just had a cabinet presentation with Rick Maniloff and Jared from the Law Department, and
We can't tell me that.
we were instructed that the contents of other proposals that are submitted and not selected is oftentimes confidential and can be trade secrets, so we're not supposed to discuss that publicly.
And I'm just going to push back just a tiny bit
Well, if you think
because-
about it, maybe they're not, their pricing for us isn't necessarily pricing to someone else.
No,
so,
absolutely.
know.
I'm not, just for our due diligence as a legislative body, trying to make a decision in regards to the statement that Medical Mutual was the highest of the four, so the other three could be right underneath. Is that accurate, what you said?
So they were not the highest scoring in terms of pricing. They were not the lowest price, correct, Stephen?
I just thought I heard they were the highest price, but they did so much other good stuff.
Scoring vendor.
So MedMutual Life was not the highest priced. They were third.
Second price.
So the reason why there's a little bit of confusion is that one of the vendors provided two different types of rates. So in the basic life, they were second lowest along with all the vendors because a penny per $1,000 of basic life coverage is
Standard.
pretty, as low as they pretty much can go. In terms of pricing for the voluntary life, they were third in pricing.
That's good enough. Thank you. Answered my question. I'll let you off the hook.
All right. Seeing that there are no further questions. Oh, okay.
And we'll be quick, Madam Chair. I just wanted to ask if we have, for this committee, or do we have, I know around this time of year, this is when the medical things come to us. Do we have any more to look forward to for the remaining of this year, contracts?
That would go to council.
That would come to council. There is still I believe, the Employee Assistance Program, which that is currently working its way through the system at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councilman Miller?
On the pricing, if Medical Mutual was second or third in the pricing, why did they get the highest score of 23 out of 25 in the category on pricing?
So in terms of pricing, while they were not the lowest scored, or while they were not the lowest price for voluntary life, because their voluntary life coverage included guaranteed up to a guaranteed rate, whereas the lowest price vendor for voluntary life limited their coverage. So while it was a lower price, the employees could not receive as much coverage as they could under Medical Mutual for the same price.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Miller. Can I have a motion to move this item to the full body of council for second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Is there any miscellaneous business? This meeting is